Yeah, it's the Casimir Engine yet again. Episode 15. 15 of loads. It's not ka-ka-ka.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine.
That's me.
Ka-ka-ka. Hasn't that been done to death? Isn't that so 9990s?
You think so?
Casimir Engine.
It's the Casimir Engine. It's not ka-ka-ka.
We've got, this is a new band for the show. This is the Cottage Bluegrass Boys with, from their EP Box of Pine. And this is Pushing On. This is written by the lads themselves. Hey, my cousin's in this band, so they're dead good, right? That's the Cottage Bluegrass Boys. They're from Matlock and works with, local area anyway. If you want to get in touch with them, check them out on Facebook and on YouTube. Cottage Bluegrass Boys. Hey, what you got all this kind of music on for anyway, Kaz? It's a special edition again. There's no, hey, what's on the show tonight, Casimir? You better prepare yourself. Hey, Kev Rocker Robson is back in town. So, in fact, the person who said, what's on the show tonight, Casimir, is Kev Rocker Robson. We had more downloads for his show than any other show. And I think he did them all. I caught up with Kev last week. In fact, it's really weird because it was this week. It was only yesterday. But I'm pre-recording this because I'm on me jolly holidays. I've taken Herbie, the studio dog. We've gone checking out recording equipment and broadcasting equipment together. He's given me plenty of advice. And we've gone to the seaside. Just to get the formalities out before we get Kev on, don't forget you can contact the show on Twitter at Casimir Podcast and on Facebook at Casimir Podcast, or put the Casimir Engine Show in the People, Places and Things search box, and you can listen to us on Spotify. Well, if you're listening to this, you know where you can listen to us. Spread the word. Let's get Kev on.
I'm Kev Bovis. No, I'm Kev Rocker Robson, and you're listening to the Casimir Engine. What?
Show.
Yeah, show looks like Snow Podcast.
No, that's just my handwriting.
You can't write.
No, I can't write.
Right.
My mum wanted me to be a doctor, I think, but I could only write like one.
Well, you do write like... You write really weird. You write like an old man.
Just try it again.
Okay. I'm Kev Rocker. I'm not saying Bovis.
No.
I'm not saying I'm Kev Bovis.
No, I know. The Ted Bovis thing's over with. We're not mentioning you looking like Ted Bovis again, right? So, right. Even though I think there's money to be had.
I can't say it because you've got a rope there. I can't
hang on a minute. Hang on. I'll scribble it out. I've scribbled Ted Bovis out, right? Rocker.
Can you put my real name on? I can say it if you put my real name on. Right. Right, back a bit. Right, okay. Right. Right. I'm Kev Rocker Robson, and you're listening to the Casimir Engine Show Podcast.
Brilliant.
Is that all right?
You're back again, aren't you?
I'm back again.
I didn't think we were ever going to get you back again, but we've been... Well, I had questions last time to ask you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had more downloads than any other show so far, listening to the Kev Rocker Robson show, right? Which is great. But people have rung me and said, can you ask Kev next time he's on how much it's cost him in download time, right, on his phone to download the podcast that many times?
It's cost me a fortune.
It has, hasn't it? Just to be the top one.
Yeah, it's cost me a fortune. I can't believe I'm the top. Your top podcasting thing.
I can't. And lots of people can't.
That's what it is.
That I didn't care. Wanted your love, I wanted you there. I wanna let my feelings show. I wanted our love to grow. Taking a little or taking a lot just reminds me of what I ain't got. Touch your hair, touch your face, makes my heart feel funny. I think it's starting to race. I didn't want you to think that I didn't care. Wanted your love, I wanted you there. I wanna let my feelings show. I wanted our love to grow.
Right, on the last one, we had Jack and the Real Deals.
Yes.
Music. Have you got any... we need some original music, so you're going to have to give us a track that we can pick out and I can fill in. So, have Jack and the Real Deals, have they written their own music, or is it all...
Yeah. Well, it's not me, because I'm not
write.
clever enough. I can't write. I can't read all right.
Yeah.
Jack the singer, and Sid the guitarist, they do most of the writing and what have you. Me and Andy, the drummer, we just sort of make a noise in the background.
Yeah.
They're the clever guys, apparently.
All right, so I need a track then that we can pick out, Jack and the Real Deals. So what we're going to play?
But don't wait for my baby when the sun goes down, 'cause I'll be heading to the gambling town, where the drinks are flowing and the lights are dim. I'm gonna try my luck at blackjack again. Hey! Well, I'm known for playing till my money's all spent, right down to the last brass cent. I've even been known to play a shirt on my back. Well, you always lose something when you play a blackjack. Hey! Well, you know damn well that I'm not able to up to leave that gambling table. I'll be a deadbeat daddy till the day I die. Well, I love the joker's wife, and he says hi. Find me here with a stack of chips and a glass of beer. Pray I'll make that 21. But Lady Luck's packed up and gone. Hey! Well, you know darn well I'm not able to up and leave that gambling table. I'll be a deadbeat daddy till the day I die. Well, I love the joker's wild, and he says hi. I love the joker's wild, and he says hi.
Okay, so let's try and catch up with part 2 of the Kev Rocker Robson story. So we last left you, and you were living at your granddad's.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was sort of living... I was living everywhere, really. I was living with my granddad, and then at times I was living back with my dad, and then with my mum. And I was going backwards and forwards all over the place. So, and my brothers were the same. You know, it was a tough time. So we were half at my nan's, half at my dad's, and sometimes at my mother's. So we're all over the place, backwards and forwards, really. So we were never stable. Remind
me how many brothers you got again?
I've got two other brothers.
Two other brothers?
Yeah.
Younger?
One's... yeah, they're both younger than me. One's 4 years younger than me, and my other brother's 12 months younger than me.
Okay.
So I'm the eldest.
All right.
The eldest of 3.
So what was your plan? What was the Kev Robson plan? What were you going to do after being in the home? Had you got any ambitions? Or?
Yeah, I had lots of ambitions. Loads of ambitions. I mean, one of the ambitions was join the army.
Okay.
That was the biggest ambition. And you're going to love this. So when I'd left school, in them days, it was get a job. You just had to get a job.
Yeah.
So while I was sort of going backwards and forwards and living with my nan and granddad and my dad and my mum, I managed to get a job straight away. I got 3 or 4 offers. And this one particular job, it's in the industry I'm in now,
Okay.
the window furnishing industry. I got a job straight away there in a place called Burslem in Stoke-on-Trent. It'd been going over 100 years when I joined. I got a job there making blinds.
Did it make 101 years, or did you finish that one off? Is it still going?
I knew you were going to
Is it still going?
Yeah. No.
No, it's not going. Oh dear.
It ended. I think Lycet's. It was called Lycet Brothers.
Yeah.
And they sort of finished. I think the mid-90s they sort of finished, but it had been going on ever such a long time. A great company, but I think they overstretched themselves and went all horribly wrong, and that was it, you know. But I got a job there. It set me up in the blind industry. And like I say, all I wanted to do was join the army, and had the ambition of joining the army. So while I was at Lycet's, I went to Hanley and in Stoke, and there was a office recruitment centre there, and I went for my test, and I did my fitness test, and I passed that, absolutely not a problem. And then I went for my actual, sort of written test, and failed miserably.
Right.
Absolutely failed miserably. And basically he said, you failed, but come back in a couple of years and reapply, get a bit of life experience and come back. And that's what I did. So I spent a bit of time at Lycet. So I was there sort of 2.5, 3 years, I think. I'm crap with times. I can't do dates and times, but I was there about 2.5, 3 years maximum. And then I got fed up with the blind industry. And one of my uncles was working in the hotel industry in Stratford-upon-Avon.
Oh, yeah.
And he was having a ball. He was having the time of his life. And I thought, do you know what? I'd like a bit of that.
In hotels?
He was having a great time. Yeah, he was having a great time. He worked for this hotel company. Anyway, so I applied for a job in his hotel and I didn't get the job. So I thought, well, it doesn't matter. I'll go and look for another job in the same industry in different hotels. And I got a job as a waiter called the Moat House in Stratford-upon-Avon.
Oh, blimey, that's a long way from Burslem or Hanley or wherever you were.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it was as well, I got accommodation there.
I think I know this hotel. Is this the one that, like, it's on the kind of the ring road overlook? Is it like on an island thing overlooking the river?
That's right. Yeah.
I know where you mean.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah, it's a huge place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started off as a room service waiter there.
I have a feeling that you've got quite a few stories that we can't broadcast.
I can't. But let me just say, I had the time of my life.
Oh,
honestly,
dear.
I had the time of my life. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was there I was there a couple of years, and I had a great time. And I met this girl called Dawn. Okay,
Yeah.
she was. I've been with one or two girls at the time, but I was really taken with this one girl, Dawn. And we decided. Okay, I had some mates who went to Guernsey. They had a job in Guernsey, and I decided I was going to go to Guernsey to this hotel and work there, and I got a job there.
Yeah.
So that this Dawn went there, and we worked in Guernsey for a couple of years, and it was just brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic.
You're getting further and further away.
Oh, I did. So anyway, while we were there, me and this Dawn split up. Unfortunately, we sort of went our separate ways, but you know, we're still friends, and we had the time of our life.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show podcast.
Anyway, I met this, I had a lot of friends there, and I met this, I can't remember the guy's name, but his girlfriend was called Antoinette, right? It was him and her boyfriend. And we decided we were going to travel around the world, right?
Yeah.
And we planned it all, and I was going to go with her and her boyfriend, okay? And the first stop we were going to go to was Holland, okay? Because his sister lived in Holland, okay?
Mm.
And we were going to go there first, get a job, work there for a few months, and then go to the kibbutz.
Right,
And,
okay.
We had it all planned. Oh, it was so exciting on paper. It was great. So anyway, on the day we were going, everyone's saying, oh, good luck, you know, I hope you do all right, and all excited for us. So we get on the ferry, whizzes over with a tent, yeah, whizzes over to Holland. I'm in this tent in this campsite. I get myself a job in a hotel, okay, as a waiter. Them two are living with his sister in their house while I'm in this tent, right? You couldn't make it up.
No.
And they were loving it. They were absolutely loving it. And I was getting a bit bored. We'd been there 2 or 3 months. So after a couple
In
of
a
3
tent?
months...
You're in a tent for 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, in a tent, yeah. So after a while, I said to this... Chris was his name, that was right. I said, Chris, we're supposed to be going around the world, you know, we're supposed to be going off to the kibbutz, you know, are we ready? And he come to us and he said, look, we've had a little think about this, and we're not going to bother. I said, what do you mean you're not going to bother? He said, well, we like it so much here. My sister's offered me a room here with my girlfriend. We've got a job and we're staying here. I said, well, what about me? Well, you'll have to go on your own.
To a kibbutz? There's enough trouble in the Middle East without you in a kibbutz.
Well, of course, I didn't go, so I ended up going back to Stratford-upon-Avon. That's as far as I got my travels around the world. Holland.
Holland is as far as it got.
That's as far as it got. So, I ended up back at Stratford. So, yeah, but Guernsey was absolutely fantastic. So I ended up back at Stratford and started working there. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try and join the army again.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the meantime, I met this girl, Sarah.
Another one.
And she, and she was the absolute love of my life.
Hellfire.
Okay. Oh, Dave, she was...
There's a reoccurring theme along here, right?
She was lovely, absolute lovely. And to the point where I went and joined the army. I got in the army. I joined the Royal Artillery. It was based in London. Okay.
Did you have to wear Action Man clothes?
Yeah, I had the eagle eyes a lot.
I didn't think people could get in the army under like 5 foot. I just, how did you do it? Did you wear platform soles or something when you went for your test?
Oh, I had a great time, but I was still with this Sarah, and anyway, she decided she didn't want me to stay in the army because she wanted to get married, and she sort of begged me to come out of the army and get married. Well, I wanted to get married anyway, but she didn't want to be married and in quarters, army quarters. So she said, I'd like you to leave and let's get married. So that's what we did. I left the army and we got married.
So in the army then, did you see active service? Did you go to Ireland or anything like that, or were you cutting radish rosettes or something? What were you doing? Were you the chef?
No, I was in London, a place called Woolwich Arsenal. The only action I seen is the IRA blew up our barracks.
Did they?
That was about it. Yeah. It was called the Eltham Bomb. It was at Eltham in London.
Yeah.
And it was only a little thing, but it was scary enough. And they blew up part of our barracks. But I left there and got married.
Yeah.
So that was my brief stint in the army, and I left and got married, and it was great. She was a wonderful girl, and unfortunately, it all went to a little bit pear-shaped. So I come out of the army to get married and then divorced.
Oh, no.
Engine. I've listened to your show, and it's a shambles.
All right.
Yes,
So after that, okay, let's bring it a bit more up to date because you had a bit of an experience a couple of years ago. I know we're skipping through like 40 years that you had in between that because you're about 60, aren't you? But you had a bit of an experience about 2 years ago.
Yeah. Just under 2 years ago, I had all the stress and the strains of life, I think, to be honest. And I can't deny as well, I used to smoke a little.
Did you?
I did, yeah. Not a lot, but I did used to smoke.
What was your what were you doing at the time? You're running your own business.
No, I wasn't. I'm just trying to think what I was doing. No, I was working for someone at the time.
Okay.
I was actually working for someone. I just left my business.
But you've had businesses and you've been working for yourself for a number of years.
Yeah, I was working for myself for 15 years.
Yeah.
As you know, quite successfully.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had quite a successful business. Unfortunately, when I lost my son, I lost my business as well.
Yeah.
It all went pretty bad, really. I just couldn't. I had a bit of a mini breakdown, to be honest. And then about a couple of years ago, I was lying in bed one day and just randomly out of breath. Not badly, just slightly out of breath. And I just didn't feel right. And it was 3:30 on a Sunday morning. I just didn't feel so good. I just felt weird. Walked downstairs, thinking, I'll be all right. I'll be fine. Went back upstairs, back to bed. Still didn't feel right, tossing and turning. Went back downstairs. And this went on for about an hour up and down the stairs. And in the end, I thought, do you know what? And I never ever do this. I'm going to go to accident emergency. I just don't feel right. So I got in my car and drove to the hospital.
What time was this?
And this is about 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, this is still early in the morning.
Yeah. Probably about 4:30 by then.
Yeah.
But it's still early in the morning. I just thought, no, I'm going to drive to the hospital and get checked out. And on the way there, I started coughing slightly and getting a little bit more out of breath. Not a lot, but just a little. Anyway, I get to the car park, walked into the reception at Accident Emergency, and it was packed, absolutely packed solid. And I thought, and it was full of drunks and all sorts, you know, from Saturday night. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go home. I ain't staying here. I'll be all right. I'm just out of breath. I'll just go and lie down. I'll be okay. And I just went up to reception because there was nobody there, give them my name and address. And I thought, well, once I've done that, I'll go home. Give them my name and address, told them what's wrong. And she says, you've got a 4-hour wait.
Holy, where's this?
This is in Stoke.
Oh, Stoke Hospital.
Yeah. And I said, oh, right. She says, you've got a 4-hour wait, but we do a triage. You know, a nurse will come out and see you in a bit and just check you over. So I thought, well, I'll see her and see what she says, and then I'll go home. So I sat down and I just looked around and I thought, what a mess. Look at all these. They were all drunk and they were only in there. Bear in mind, it's accident emergency. And they're in there for like, you know, split head or a, you know, sprained ankle or something. You know, minor things. I think, what a waste of people's time, you know. And they're all drunk. And I just thought, I'm going to go home. No, I'm going to go. Anyway, just as I was thinking that, this nurse come out, Mr. Robson. So I walked up and she wasn't happy.
What, she wasn't happy with the job? She's not happy in her job?
Well, I think what it was, to be perfectly honest, she'd seen all these people.
Yeah.
They're all wet time wasters, weren't they, most of them? So, and it was coming perhaps to the end of her shift, and I think she'd just had enough for the night. And I went in, she went, sit down. So I sat down and she said, right, what can I do for you? And I explained to her. And she did some tests and she says, you seem okay. She said, oh, just before you go, let me do an ECG on you. And she said, sit on that chair thing there. So I'll lay on this like bed, rather. And she put all these things on my chest and on my legs. And she switched things on. And she looked up and then started looking at her reading thing. And she went, and she actually swore. And she went, oh my, F. Like that.
Yeah.
Quick, come with me. Like that. And do you know something? I never even clicked. I just followed her. She says, quick, sit down there in reception again. So I sat down and I could see her running around looking for something. I thought, oh, what's she doing? And then she come running back with this chair and she said, get on this chair quick. I was, what you doing? She says, get on this chair quick. So anyway, I sat on this chair and she ran like the clappers. And it seemed like she was running for hours down this corridor. She kept running. You know, have you ever seen that Peter Kay video, Amarillo?
Oh, yeah.
Running. It felt like that. She was running for hours. And, do you know, she never said anything, and I never said anything to her, and he never asked. I just sat in this chair, and she just kept running. And yeah, I got the shock of my life, you know. She was shouting down this, like, phone thing, and I didn't even listen to what she was saying. And she got a tag, went through, scanned it on the door, so the door opened, went round this door, and I got the shock of my life. She ran round this corner, and it was absolutely manic. It was accident emergency. She opened this curtain, and there was all these doctors and nurses waiting for us. I didn't know, but it was a crash team waiting for us.
Right.
I didn't know. All it was to me was a load of doctors and nurses round a bed. And they just said, Mr. Robson. And I said, yeah. And they grabbed hold of me like I was a feather.
Yeah.
And they picked me up, put me on this bed, stripped my clothes off so fast, as fast as I've ever been stripped. And it was great.
Even Dawn in Guernsey, she was quicker than that.
Even she couldn't do it that quick. And, they pour all these wires on me. And there was this nurse, while I was lying down, this nurse above my head, and she was shouting at everyone, do this, do that, and trying to egg them on to get quicker. And this one nurse was trying to put a cannula in me, yeah? What's one of them? But she was struggling. You know, when they put the drugs...
Oh, right, okay.
In your veins.
Yeah.
It's one of them. She's trying to get one of them in me, and she couldn't get it. She couldn't get a vein. And this nurse is, like, not shouting at her, but telling her to hurry up. And as she's pushing it in, I thought, hang on, what's going on here? And I turned to this nurse and I said, is everything all right? And she just looked at me and said, sorry, what? I said, well, what's going on? Is everything all right? So I was lying there thinking, bloody hell, it's good service here. How can they not the NHS? This is fantastic. And she said, has anybody said anything to you? And I said, no. And she picked my hand up, and I tell you, my attitude totally changed then. She rubbed my hand, and she looked me in my eyes and just said, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Robson. I've got to tell you, you're having a major heart attack.
Trees were blossoming so sweet. No When it's rain, rain, rain keeps on falling upon my window pane tonight. And though our love is even colder, I still wonder where she's at tonight. Rain. The day she left me, well, I tried to smile with all my mind, but you will never know the pain, dear, and it lingers in my heart tonight. When it's rain, 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 it keeps on falling upon my window pane tonight. Though our love is even colder, I still wonder where she's at tonight. And I wonder where she is tonight. Oh, oh, where she is tonight. Oh, where she is tonight.
You're joking? A heart attack? I said, but I feel all right. She says, well, you're slightly out of breath. And I can tell you're having a major heart attack. I said, have you got the right person? And as I was saying that, I was getting more and more out of breath. And she was telling me to calm down. And I started to panic at them and started to worry. And she's rubbing my hands. She's saying, calm down, you know, you get yourself worked up. And so I calmed down. I was so scared.
And you're on your own. There's nobody with
I'm
you.
on my own. Nobody knows I'm there. Apart from the girl I was with at the time, she had gone to work. She knew I was there, but nobody else knew I was there. So I'm lying in this bed thinking, God, am I going to be all right? And I started really scared, shaking. And then I started shaking then, and she's saying, oh, calm down. And I just turned to her, and I just said, am I going to die? I don't know why I said it. I said, am I going to die? And I tell you this now, the look in her eyes said it all.
No
and she
way.
just picked my hand and rubbed it again. She said, look, you're having a major heart attack. We've got to get you to surgery. You're not in a good place, but we're going to do the best we can for you. And I was like, what?
You've just driven to the hospital and you're having a major heart attack.
And I'm having a major heart attack. Anyway, I have to be honest. I started shaking. I was lying in the bed shaking, thinking, this is it. I'm going to die on a bloody bed in hospital. I really was petrified. I was sweating, and she was saying, you must calm down. Try and keep calm. And all I could think about was my son. I was thinking about James, who I lost a couple of years ago. Before that, and I just kept thinking about him and then all of a sudden, a total calm come over me, and I was all right. And I just turned to this nurse. I said, I'm going to be all right. I'm fine. I'm okay. Whatever happens to us, I'm all right, because I'm going to join my son. And just then, this nurse had found a vein and got this thing in my vein.
Yeah.
And I turned to this nurse and I said, whatever happens, I'm going to be... And she was going, calm down, you're going to be all right. And she was asking me to explain, and I explained to her I'd lost my lad. And he was 13, and I'd lost him, and I'm going to join him. And I just lay there really calm. And then all of a sudden I started getting worked up because I thought, hang on a minute, I've got twin boys. What about Harry?
Yeah.
I can't leave him behind. I can't leave Harry. And then I turned to the nurse and said, "Oh my God," and I panicked. And I said, "Oh, I can't leave my son, Harry. What about Harry?" And then all of a sudden, I'd gone. I went.
What do you mean
Totally
you went?
gone. I died.
You died?
I died. I died. I died on the table. And, well, I can remember it as though it was yesterday. It was, yeah. It was.
What, like the doctors have kind of, you've gone flatline, it's gone.
I'd gone, yeah, gone. Not only had I gone, I had this, oh God, I can't think of the name. It's a particular type of heart attack that you very rarely survive. It's where the heart actually shakes inside your chest.
Yeah.
And if I've got it right, they have to stop your heart to start it again. So what had happened was they got these defibrillator on me, shocked me with these defibrillators. That didn't work. And they were very close to turning the machine off. This nurse got on top of my chest and absolutely smashed my ribs. Absolutely give me the CPR with all her life.
No way.
And, and I survived. I come round. And I can remember when I opened my eyes and I was, it was weird. I can't put into words how weird it is. Someone giving you full-on CPR and then waking up to it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, it's really weird seeing this nurse on top of you and really smashing your ribs as she's doing it. And she was shouting, "I've got him! I've got him! I've got him!"
No way.
And
so you haven't passed out or anything like that? Elvis has left the building.
Yeah, quiffed a lot. Yeah, gone. Totally gone. And
so
anyway,
can you remember what it felt like? Were you? Can you remember anything?
Yeah. Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Basically, when I'd gone, it was so nice. It was wonderful. I'd gone into this place where there was a huge, bright white, and I can't explain how white this wall was. And it was massive. It was dead long. And at the end of this wall was my son, James. And Harry as well.
You can see this in...
I can see them. I can see both of them, and they're talking to each other. And they're both in bright white shirts with a black tie and black trousers. And I'm standing at the beginning of this white wall, and I'm shouting at them, going, "James, Harry, it's your dad, it's me." And I can't tell you how brilliant I felt. I felt absolutely... I've never felt joy like it. It was amazing. And I'm shouting at them. They couldn't hear me. But I didn't care. I didn't care. All I seen was my two lads talking to each other. And I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I hadn't come back, I wouldn't have cared. To see my two lads talking, and I'm shouting at them, going, "James, Harry, it's your dad, it's me." And I'm going, "Oh my God, look at me boys, like that." And I'm thinking, "Oh God, look at me boys." And all of a sudden, this line appeared in front of my eyes. And as this line appeared in front of my eyes, as this line dropped down towards my body, this noise appeared in my ears, and it was like going like that. Like a TV hadn't tuned in right, you know, from
white
the old,
noise type stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and it was horrible. It was deafening. And I was going, "Oh, God, what's that? Oh, my God." And then this line would lift up again, just above my eyes, and I could see me boys. And it was going up and down like that.
So is this you drifting in and out, do you think?
Well, I'll tell you apparently what it was. So anyway, as this line's drifting up and down, and as it goes up, I can see my boys, but as it goes down, this horrible noise, and I can't see anything. Everything's all horrible. Then this line just really fast just lifts up, and I disappear off into this other place. And it was wonderful. This place I was on my own. And it wasn't like my body; it was like inside me. I can't put it into words. I'm not going to say my spirit because I don't know if it was that, but it was like whatever's inside your body that makes you human. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That was there, and I felt as though I was there for a while, and I felt great. I felt absolutely top class. No aches, no pains, no worries, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I felt as though I was just floating around, and it felt great. And then all of a sudden, I get this image. I look down, and there's this image I'm looking down at, and I go, oh my God, it's me. And I'm looking down, and I can see me on the bed.
Yeah. And the nurses and
everybody.
everybody.
Arms down the side. No, just me.
Just you.
Just me, right? I'm looking down, I'm going, oh my God, that used to be me. And I'm actually looking at myself, and I'm laughing at myself, going, look at my nose. Isn't it big? And I remember going round looking at my nose and thinking it was remarkable how big my nose was.
Now you know how we feel.
It was really weird. And as I was looking at myself, I was thinking, oh, that's really bizarre, that's me. And then all of a sudden, I go into a bit of a panic.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my God, hang on. Then I realise it's me, and I'm dead. Then all of a sudden, I just start going, like that. Wait, open my eyes up, and there's this nurse on top of me giving me horrendous CPR and going, I've got you. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? And the next thing, I'm being raced down this corridor into this theatre and having wires shoved up my wrist. Bizarre. Absolute bizarre. They were shoving wires up my wrist where I'm putting a stent in.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 listeners voted the Casimir Engine Show podcast the best podcast in the world.
It was weird. It was totally... It's changed my life. Completely changed my life.
A couple of questions then. Right. So from all of that, and not wanting to get too deep into all of this then, do you think there is a thing as a soul? Have you got a soul then? Do you think... Has that made you... Were you religious or anything beforehand?
I've always been religious.
Oh, you are really? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I've always been not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not go around preaching and all that, but I've always believed in God.
Yeah,
always have. And I've always gone to church. Not very often, granted, but I always go. I go 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. I basically go. You're going to laugh at this, but I go to be cleansed. That's how I call it.
To edge your bets, just in case.
No. I actually go there because I think after 3 or 4 months and I've done all me, I've done whatever I've done in life, I need to go there and, and put myself right.
Atone for your sins. I think that's it. Atone for your sins.
Yeah.
And the sins that are many.
Yeah, so I go there and I get put right, and when I come out, I really do feel a whole lot better.
Okay.
The world seems a brighter place. So, yeah, I do believe in it, but I'm not saying that where I went was anything religious. But if somebody said to me, is there something after you die? 100% yes, definitely. I don't know what, but you definitely go somewhere. I felt as though I was in a waiting room, waiting to go somewhere. That's what it felt like. But
are you frightened? Are you frightened of it happening, or?
if someone says they're going to take my life now, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
No.
Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Not now. It used to. I used to be scared stiff, but it wouldn't bother me now. Absolutely not. 100%.
So how long have you got? Have you got statistics of how long you weren't with us?
Just over 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So
Over 2
you
minutes,
weren't you weren't with us.
Yeah, and also they were shocked that there's nothing wrong with us. You find that hard to believe, but I've not, had speech problems or anything. But apparently, that noise after all that.
Yeah, the
happened,
line and the noise.
stepped,
Explain the line and the noise.
Yeah. Right. What had happened was, and just so you know, I'm not pulling your leg. All my friends were in the room at the time listening to this, right? And plus my girlfriend at the time was in the room listening to all this. So, there is witnesses there to tell you this.
Yeah.
But apparently this noise, this nurse come to see us after, and she brought a couple of colleagues with her. And one of them who was really interested in sort of what happens after you sort of die,
Yeah.
And this nurse comes and says, "Do you remember me?" And I said, "No, sorry." And then she explained, "I'm the nurse who give you the CPR and what have you." And I said, "Oh, yes, I do. I can recognise your eyes."
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell by your eyes. And she was explaining to my friends and Jenny what had happened, because she asked me, "Do you know what happened to you?" And I said, "Well, all I know is that I went to hospital, and next thing I'm in, I'm talking, on about my son, and that was it. That's all I can remember." And then she started filling in the gaps of what had happened. And they're all sat there, all my friends, and thinking, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." At what had happened. But apparently this noise, what happens is when you die, your body goes first, but your brain continues, it carries on for a brief time. And what it's trying to do is collect oxygen and blood.
Yeah.
And that's the noise.
What, rushing into your head?
Yeah. And of course, when all that had gone, I was definitely dead. I was gone. So apparently that's what had happened. So
I've never met a man who's died before.
Well, there's a few of them, apparently.
I'm sure there are, but I've never known one. You know what I mean? This is, it's an incredible story. Incredible story.
Yeah. I wish it hadn't happened to me, to be perfectly honest.
No, it would have been better. Yeah, it would have been better somebody else. But yeah, it is an incredible story.
Yeah.
So how are you now?
Well, I'm all right. I've got a few health issues, that I'm dealing with, but I feel as though I'm getting better and stronger as each day goes by. So
Hold on, I'll tell you what. Let's do that, because I just got a message came through. So we'll do that. Yeah. I'll ask you, how do you feel now? Yeah. Right, because I'll probably put some music in or something, and then start again. Yeah. So how do you feel now? How do you feel now you've had all of that's all kind of... Well, it's not in the past, because I'm assuming after you've had a heart attack of that severity, you're going to be trying to look after yourself.
Well, I am, yeah. Sort of, yeah. I mean, I've never took pills before, or tablets, but I've got a ruck of them that I take now. I think there's about 7 of them that I take. It's now down to 4 or 5, and I have to take them every day for the rest of my life, but I never take them.
You never take them?
I keep forgetting.
Kev, can right, and I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of listeners out there, you have to take your medicine.
What you're going to say. Yeah, well, I do forget. I keep forgetting, but I keep getting... it's not good. But, I feel as though I'm getting better, and it's a long process. Do you know what? I've got to tell you this. The funny thing, this is not funny, but the remarkable thing is how many heart attacks happen in a day. There's thousands of people who have heart attacks every day. as I was walking out after recovering, and I was walking out, one of my mates coming in.
No way.
Yeah. And as his name's Mark, and as I'm going out, he's coming out. I'm going, all right, Mark, what are you doing here? I've just had a heart attack.
No way.
You're joking. So have I, but I'm on my way home. So, it's quite remarkable.
And is Mark all right? Is Mark okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Good.
He's absolutely fine. He survived and he's all right. He's like me, I'm sure he keeps taking the pills there.
Yeah. Well, you've got to take the pills. Do us a favour and take the pills.
Yeah. I'll do that. But the other thing is as well, and just to hammer home how lucky I am, after my heart attack, I don't know if you've noticed, but recently there's been a spate of celebrities, dying.
Yeah.
And they've all been heart attacks.
Yeah.
Exactly the same as what's happened to me. That Pete Burns, I think his was in a heart attack. He was just after me.
Yeah.
You remember him out of Dead or Alive?
Yeah.
There was a spate of them. All just had heart attacks and not survived. And my friend, one of my good friends who was a rockabilly when I was in Leek, just before me, he had the same. He just died.
Dear me.
Heart attack. Yeah, he was around about 51, 52.
Oh dear.
That's
no age, is it? It's no age at all.
So I was really lucky.
So you're not eating in Greggs or anything like that. And for people who are not from this country, Greggs is like the worst kind of cake shop bakery that you can ever go to. You're not eating anything from there at all on it. Nothing with cheese in it. You are, aren't you? Because I saw you the other day. He came. I've got to explain, right? I was sitting in a coffee shop in Derby. Kev Rocker Robson came walking in. Mr. Heart Attack on legs, right? Came walking in with a cheese melt with chicken in like toasted bread, and you said, well, it's only bread, cheese and chicken. No, it got loads of butter on it, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't. Do you not eat like fruit all the time or something like that?
Yeah,
you don't, do you? You don't take the tablets, so you're not going to eat fruit, are you?
No, but I do eat the vegetables. My diet's actually not bad. I've not got a bad diet actually. I do all right.
Yeah,
but I don't do fruit. I must admit, I'm not a big fruit man. But I'm getting better. I'm certainly getting better.
Well. But you've taken up, again, most of the show rabbiting. It's been, interesting ain't the word for it. It isn't the word for it. And I think we've still got a little bit more that we've got to talk about. So there is going to be a part 3, I think. You don't know what it's going to be yet, but I'm going to tell you what that'll be. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat later. But Kev Rocker Robson, thank you very much for joining us on the Casimir Engine Show podcast and sharing an incredible story.
Thanks very much. Thanks for asking me.
Kev, we had some response to the broadcast a couple of weeks ago. We had some listener feedback. It wasn't just you downloading it. We did have some listener feedback, you see. One of them, there was a complaint came through that, dear Casimir, loved the podcast with Kev Rocker Robson, but we couldn't hear him as well as we could hear the Casimir engine on the podcast. Can you explain? Now, and I think people thought that maybe I'd toned you down a bit on the old volume controls, just so that I sounded a lot better than you. But what I've got to explain the size of your nose is just trying to get you nearer to a microphone, isn't it? It's very, very difficult, listener, wherever you are. I don't know where they were, but it is because his nose is too big to go near the mic. Anyway, Kev Rocker Robson, we're doing the Teddy Boy questionnaire.
Yes.
Last week to see if you were a Teddy Boy or a Rockabilly. Right, so Kev Rocker Robson, this is more modern thing. right?
Yeah.
We're talking about beauty products this evening. Okay, so Kev Rocker Robson,
No,
right? Do you? Do you?
I know where this is going.
Kev Rocker Robson, right? You look like a man who looks after yourself, and your teeth look incredibly. What kind of products do you use to make you? You use the teeth whitening kit, haven't you? Come on. So does the rest of the rockabilly fraternity, do they know that Kev Rocker Robson, bass face out of Jack and the Real Deals, he uses teeth whitener?
I haven't a clue what you're on about.
And so, what other beauty products do you use? Do you use Brill cream? What do you use in your hair? Because it's like it's.
No.
What do you use in your hair?
I use a thing called black and white.
And what's is it like wax stuff? Yeah.
No.
Is it not wax?
It's like Brill cream.
Oh, it is like Brill cream. Yeah,
it's that sort of thing, but it's called black and white.
Yeah.
It's a bit tougher, and
yeah,
it's what we all use.
Is
Most
it?
of us use anyway. A lot of us use, I should say.
Because you had your hair cut by Shane at the last Rock.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
The man with the most incredible beard in Derbyshire.
He's the most gingerest, longest beard in Derby.
I've got a picture of you both. I'll stick it. I think I put it on Facebook, but I'll stick it on this broadcast anyway.
Have you ever been to his shop? It's an amazing shop.
Unfortunately, my beard's very meagre. I'd be too embarrassed to go in there. I'd just be too embarrassed with this. It's ridiculous. And I don't know, have you seen that? I'm going to lean forward to the camera.
Yeah, you've got a gap. Yeah.
I've got a gap. It's ridiculous. I'm like Hercule Poirot. It's rubbish. It's just,
the ugly beard.
I spend all time like that trying to join it together. It's rubbish moustache. I really should shave it off, but Mrs. Engine likes it because it covers up a bit of my face, so she's quite happy with it.
Well, I don't blame. You are quite ugly, so yeah, so I can understand that.
Thanks for that.
It's a pleasure.
The Casimir Engine Show. Possibly the greatest podcaster in the world.
The Casimir Engine. Reliably mediocre.